Ladies and gentlemen, this is not satire. Sometimes I do these segments and they're purely satirical, and I pretend to be this apoplectic, morally superior, highly educated, oftentimes hysterical, absolutely wonderful liberal Democrat who thinks that Trump is the embodiment of corruption, yet can't find a crime. And these are the same people who accuse Trump of being installed by another country, and then they complain about conspiratorial theories. They're the ones who fall back on whatever intelligence chiefs say, as long as the appeals to authority coincide with their political viewpoints. If, for example, it's an official or a high-ranking member of Trump's former intelligence community or officials, they don't want to hear anything about that. So they appeal to authority when it suits them. They shield and suppress any discussion of corruption on their end. Hunter's emails and social media algorithms, Twitter suppressing and silencing the New York Post for breaking a legitimate, amazing story that should have been, they should have received Pulitzer Prizes for that. The Daily Mail as well. But again, you have social media algorithms still. Before Elon Musk takes over Twitter, you still have social media algorithms, all of media, CNN, MSN, almost all, CNN, MSNBC, The Washington Post, The New York Times, New Yorker, New York Magazine, The Atlantic, Vanity Fair, Esquire, the Los Angeles Times, the Daily Beast, Mother Jones, The Nation. They're always saying, the Time Magazine, they're always saying the same thing. Trump bad, Trump horrible, Trump loathsome, Democrats good, Hunter not that bad compared to Trump and his children, and Hillary Clinton, it was just private servers with top secret intel on them. But you know what? It's not a big deal because the country they always blame only hacked the DNC emails to inform the country that Bernie Sanders was cheated, thus forcing Debbie Wasserman Schultz to resign, but definitely didn't infiltrate servers running outside of the United States government with top secret intelligence. By the way, I want a Hillary Trump 2024 or Hillary DeSantis 2024. That would be fantastic. But Merrick Garland could very likely, or will very likely, or quite possibly can indict or charge Trump, knowing that they would lose any case before 2024, depending on how desperate a failed political party becomes before the next presidential contest. This is serious. I'm not joking, and I'm not. These are my honest thoughts. They don't care about setting up and framing Trump. We saw that with a Steele dossier purchased by Trump's direct political rivals, Clinton and the Democratic Party, which they paid an FEC fine for. They don't care about setting up and framing Trump. The rule of law is whatever media and Democrats find politically expedient for their political party. Journalists today are liberal Democrats first. Historians today are liberal Democrats first. Economists today are liberal Democrats first. All these appeals to authority create a fabricated consensus. Appeals to certain individuals with expertise, individuals that will fall in line and only back the Democratic Party's narrative on anything. Anyone who opposes the Democratic Party is marginalized, is excommunicated, canceled, committed blasphemy and heresy, and should never be listened to, regardless of their qualifications or their knowledge or their expertise. So you have a fabricated consensus, always, on every topic, almost every topic. Anyone who falls out of the fabricated consensus has committed blasphemy. Oh, this is it's so, nefarious and insidious and widespread. You'll have family members and friends disown family members and friends because being a liberal Democrat is part of a person's soul now. It's part of their spirit. It's part of who they are. It's part of how they see the world. It's not just politics for many of the Democratic Party. It's actually who they are. Therefore, they will not allow Trump to run unopposed, meaning unobstructed without trying every single possible way to derail his candidacy. They could indict him and then just lose the trial. The trial will then be the trial of the century. It'll take years or a year plus, in which case media will say, oh my God, he committed whatever he's accused of committing, and they don't need evidence. Do you understand? They don't have evidence. So hit subscribe to this channel. I'll explain my thought process. I tried to give you a little preface, but hit subscribe to this channel. Hit subscribe to the stock market crash channel and the Bitcoin crash channel. I have segments prior to this one. I'll have segments after this one on the Bitcoin crash and stock market crash channel. They don't have a crime for January. They don't have a crime for being installed by the Kremlin. He never colluded. He never told anyone to commit crimes 2 years ago. He never engaged in any criminal conduct with his tax returns. They have his tax returns. They had a 2-year panel. They had a special counsel. They can't find a specific crime. They can't find a specific crime. They don't like him. They think he's they have only contempt. They despise him. They think that he's capable of anything. They're attributing quotes to him he never stated, and there's no evidence he stated those things. So you don't even, if there's no evidence, you can't prove, you can't just simply accuse somebody and then say, well, there's no evidence he didn't state that. That's not logical. That's completely irrational. But that's what Democrats do. Except when it's, when actual quotes are attributed to them from their own writing, from the slimy little paws of people that sell and trade their family name to acquire money at the expense of or with the help or at the expense of the U.S. government or giving access to the U.S. government, like Hunter, like Bill and Hillary and the Foundation. These are clear pay-to-play schemes that go back to Tammany Hall, honest graft. You can't prove anything, says the Democrat. With Trump, he's guilty. We just have to prove that he's guilty. He committed a crime. We don't know what the crime is, but we're going to find out. With Hunter's emails there are statements, how can you use your influence on behalf of the company? It's like literally there. If it was Jared Kushner or Eric Trump or Donald Trump Jr. had any of Hunter's emails, oh my God, they would be indicted already. The issue with Trump is that they haven't indicted him yet because they know at this juncture they can't prove anything. And the trial would then show that they just want to go after him. It would be a complete farce, and it would undermine the little trust that's left in the justice system. Both left and right don't trust the justice system for different reasons, oftentimes, but nobody trusts. Very few people absolutely trust the American justice system. Democrats won't care, though. So what'll take place is they could very well, because they're stuck with mashed potato brains Joe, even AOC won't endorse him, which is hilarious at this juncture, at this moment. They're going to get completely obliterated in the House and the Senate. So it depends on how desperate they are. Do not rule out the possibility. I'm not predicting anything. It's not a prediction. Read the entire title. Sometimes people say, I don't like your titles. Well, you didn't read the entire title. You could have clicked on it for a second, read the entire title, and then watched something else. But anyway, it's a split second of your life. But the entire title is always accurate. So it depends on how desperate they get. That's it. Do not rule out them indicting or charging Trump with a crime. It doesn't matter if he's innocent. It doesn't matter if Trump is innocent. It doesn't matter if they don't really have a criminal statute that he's broken. They will have enough hysteria. They will have enough apoplectic coverage. They'll be breathing into paper bags, hyperventilating with the most narcissistic, insidious type of enthusiasm you've ever seen in your life. It'll be the best thing that ever happened to them, whether or not he committed the crime. Because then they can roll and they can say, look, we have, what was the first Star Trek with Christopher Pike? The original, it's the man's head on like a machine. They'll roll in with somebody like that. Okay? And they'll say, well, at least we have At least we have a cyborg or an android that wasn't indicted. Okay? They don't care. By then, the economy. No. Who is it? Yeah, that's right. He was the Christopher, the original Kirk, and it's like the original. Anyway, if you know what I'm talking about, in the comments section. But here, hit subscribe to this channel. Don't rule out the possibility that he gets indicted and charged for a crime he didn't commit. They don't care. They've already almost deliberately tanked the economy. And I talk about that in the Stock Market Crash channel and the Bitcoin Crash channel. Hit subscribe to this channel right this second. Share it everywhere. It's very important.